We're going to welcome our Buffalo Bulls to the press conference room. We'll go ahead and let head coach Nate Oates open with a opening statement, and we'll take questions for our student athletes, Jeremy Harris and also Javon Graves. Coach?
I mean, it was a hard-fought game. We knew it was going to be that way. Every game we play with Kent State ends up being a brawl. I mean, I told our guys, too, at the before the game, listen, it's that they would rather go out with a fist fight than they would go home with a loss. So just at the end of the game, you know, we need to make sure we got all of our players available for Saturday. So keep your head. Kind of came to that. I thought the referees did a great job keeping it under control late in the game. But I thought throughout the course of the game, we did a really good job on defense. They had 19 boards, which is a little disappointing. But I thought even when we gave up the boards, our guys just hung in there, just got another stop. I didn't think they had too many uncontested shots most of the game. After we got the fouling kind of out of the way there early in the game and got accustomed to how they were going to call it, I thought we did a pretty good job on the defensive end. And, you know, it's nice to have some offensive talent. It's nice to have Jeremy Harris on our team this weekend. So he had 5 of 6 from threes, not bad. And the one he missed, you know, he told me he probably shouldn't have shot it. It was kind of contested. I think he was 5 for 5 up to that point. So offensively, if we don't turn the ball over, we don't usually have a problem putting the ball in the basket. We didn't hit 80, but Kent State makes it tough. They do a good job. We made enough. We scored enough to get the win. But back-to-back games with 8 turnovers, if we don't turn the ball over, we're usually pretty good. And then just take care of it on the defensive end. So I was happy for Javon. You know, he comes home here, played at Akron, St. V's last year, and won a state championship here in Ohio. He had a great game for us. Hit some big shots for us when we needed them. I thought he gave us some quality minutes there. He almost got 20 minutes as a freshman, so that was big. Just remember to raise your hand. We'll get the microphone to you. Questions for our student athletes. Go ahead.
Jeremy, for you, I mean, do you have a third game like this in you for tomorrow night?
I'm not really sure, but I mean, I'm just focused on the defensive side of the ball. So we'll see.
What's it been like, if I can continue just real quick? I mean, what kind of zone have you been in these last 2 days where it's just you spot and hit and it's like you can't miss?
I have to give the credit to my teammates. They the ones finding me. It's not like I'm taking shots off the dribble as much. But, yeah, my teammates do a good job of finding me in transition, and I make the shot a little bit.
Elton?
For both players, you guys really shut them down inside, and they kind of feed off of that. If they can't get it going in stride, they really inside, they kind of struggle. I think De La Rosa only had 1 shot in the first half. Just talk about your defense, maybe your defensive game plan, or just kind of bottling that up. And
I have to say, the first time we played them, they gave us our first loss, and he was a big reason to it. But our game plan going into them was just fight them real hard, front them in the post, and make them make tough shots. And I think we did that. Credit to our bigs.
We had help on the backside for him, so we knew that it would be tough for him to get the ball. So, yep.
Did you, Jeremy? What do you think about this game, like as just sort of a mentality challenge? I mean, they're a very, gutsy. I don't know if that's the word you'd use, but I mean, they're a tough team. They fight. They came back. Did you feel like just talk about that, like matching their intensity because you knew they were going to come at you?
Yeah, Coach Oates told us before the game that they was going to go out with a fist fight before they went out. Sad. I mean, we just stayed locked in as a team and just played the game of basketball. And then
your start to the game, I mean, you came out flying. Actually, it seemed like they were folks that you got a couple open 3 looks there. Just what do you remember about starting so fast?
I have to say, Wes. I think Wes found me both times. Like I said, he do a good job of giving me open shots. I mean, he gets in the paint. We work on paint touches. So I got to give it the credit to him.
For Javon, between the energy of the crowd and being in your hometown, how did that kind of help your performance? You had 3 blocks in the first half, really came out there strong defensively.
The crowd helped me because we have a good fan base, and playing in front of home is just always good. So our coaches made sure we played good defense, and that's what I was focusing on.
Did you ever have a block into the stands?
Have I ever?
Blocked a ball into the stands?
Nah. Nope.
Were you feeling like the mojo here because the state championship?
it gave me a good boost.
For either of you guys, I guess for both of you guys, to now have a chance to win a third MAC title for this team in 4 years, trip to the NCAA tournament's on the line. I guess, how excited are you guys, and what does this mean to you?
I have to say it means a lot to us, but this will be our first one. But we got to come in tomorrow focused and forget about the past 2 days and lock in on the winner of this game.
I'm very excited being a freshman. This is why I came to Buffalo, so I'm excited for it.
The first loss to Kent, they had that big second half rally. It seemed like that was maybe trending a little bit in the direction in the first portion of this second half tonight. What was the mentality and the message delivered at that point to then shoot off the other direction? Jeremy.
I mean, yeah, it's basketball. It's games to run. So, I mean, they made a little run. I think we got deflection out of bounds, so luckily it was a media timeout. We came together as a team and went back out there and pushed the lead up a little bit more. So,
Jeremy and Javon, thank you for your time. We'll let you get back to the locker room. We'll
Thanks,
continue
Dave.
now with more questions for Coach Oates.
Coach, I'll start with you again on that defense, particularly in the first half. Like I said, you bottled up their whole inside pretty good, and I think De La Rosa only had one shot. Just was that the game plan to just really kind of make sure that they didn't get anything going in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was, because when we were 8-0 and went to their place and took the loss, and if you went back and watched the second half at their place, Del Rosa really hurt us a lot. I thought our bigs were a little bit lazy, let the ball get in there the entire second half, and then if we doubled, he passed out of it well. If we didn't, he scored it. So we didn't want him to catch the ball. I mean, it was, don't give him any post catches. If we had to put a ton of ball pressure on, it means we had to play a little harder. It is what it is. I thought our guards did a good job pressuring the ball, and then we had great backside help on it. I mean, they didn't really have any options other than skip it across the floor. And then on the skips, I thought our guys did a pretty good job covering back up. I mean, they ended up 7 of 25 from three. If we hadn't given those two kind of transition threes there in the middle of the second half to Jalen Avery, it might have been three there in the second half. I thought our guys did a really good job. I mean, Jalen Walker was 2 for 9, and if the one he hit there to close the first half, I mean, there's not a whole lot more you're going to do about that. It's just a tough shot. So outside of that one, he only hit 1 out of his other 8 attempts. So I thought really, covering the three-point line well, coming back out of that backside help, when you front the post and you got to, if they skip it, our ball pressure made them a little bit more airtime on the ball. So I thought everybody, it wasn't just our bigs, it was guards with the ball pressure, guards getting the help, and guards being able to close back out to the shooters off it. So our guys have been really locked in, though, here on the defensive end. And, depending on who wins this game, we'll get the scouting report in. Coach Weitzel does an unbelievable job getting them ready with the walkthroughs and everything. We did, 3 walkthroughs. We did 1 last night and two today before the game. So they're fully aware of everything they're running, and our guys have done a great job getting locked in that way.
Nate, I know you've got guys like CJ and Nick who have been in this position before. They were there 2 years ago when you won it, but you've also got a lot of guys who haven't been here before. So what's your message to the guys going into this game tomorrow?
I mean, we talked about that coming into this. I talked about it before the Bowling Green game, the last regular season game. I told them if you think about winning 3 games down in Cleveland, that's way too much to think about. We can't do that. Then you get ahead of yourself. So what we need to do is just win one at a time. And I said, let's start with this Bowling Green game. Let's make this our first tournament game, since there's 8 other teams that have to play Monday before we get to play Thursday. They'll have a tournament game under their belt already. Let's make Friday our first tournament game. And let's just take it 1 possession at a time in that game, and don't worry about the next 3 games. And then let's do the same thing again Thursday. And let's not worry about winning 3. Let's just win 1. And in that 1 game, let's just win 1 possession at a time. So I think you just take them 1 at a time, and I don't think you think about it. Now, obviously, in the back of their minds, there's a lot more media here than there is at a normal regular season game. So there's a little bit more pressure, and there's a little bit more on the line. And it's come down to 1 game. This is what we've talked about doing since we got beat by Kent State last year here. So, it's going to be a tough game, and Toledo's been right behind us all year in the regular season standings, either, 0-1 or either tied with or 1 or 2 games behind us the whole time since we beat them first game of the regular season. So, but Eastern's beat them twice, so, we don't know who. And our guys said, can we watch it? I said, like, maybe 10 minutes. We got to get them off. It helps to be the 1 seed, get more rest, so we're going to get them out of here pretty quick and try to get them off their feet and get them rested for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 things. One, that have you had a team like the guard depth defensively? I mean, you got 5 guards who all. It's not like you have to hide any of them. And then the second thing is, what has Graves been doing to earn these key minutes?
I mean, no, I've never had a team with this much depth. I mean, maybe back in high school. Not since we've been here at the Division I level. I mean, you got an all-defensive kid in Jordan this year, defensive player of the year in Carruthers last year. Wes Clark's more than capable of handling the zone on defense. Javon's super athletic. And what Javon's done is he realized if you don't guard, you're not going to play. So he's guarding. He's more than physically capable of doing it. He's an unbelievable athlete with a great body that can stay. I mean, he can really guard 1 through 4 a lot of times. And when we switch a lot of ball screens, him and CJ, the other one, the 5th one, they give us that big guard that can guard a 4 and still guard a point guard, so you're able to switch like we did yesterday with Central Michigan. We put CJ on Luke Meyer, switched every ball screen. You can do the same thing with Javon, so it gives you a lot of versatility of what you can do on the defensive end when you got a bunch of guards like that.
Nate, it was probably the best day in UB sports history when the men and women won 2 years ago here. How cool would it be to see that happen again?
It'd be great. I mean, when you came back to Buffalo, the whole town was really into the deal, and Felicia's done an unbelievable job. I think they're in no matter what, from what I'm hearing. So they probably got a little bit less pressure than we do. Well, I think we got a win to get in. I think the women's side of it, the Max, I think 7th ranked in the RPI. So they're probably in. Be great if they could win it. We keep talking. She hit me up the other night. 1 down, 5 to go. They got theirs down. We had to get 3. So now I guess we're 4 down, 2 to go. I'd probably get on I didn't look at my phone. I'm sure she texted me, but yeah, I mean, it'd be great. I remember last time we sat there, we have to game prep and do our stuff, so we weren't at the game. We were doing a pregame meal, and we had it up on, I think it was on E3 on the iPad. We were watching it, and Stephanie Reed hit the game winner, and the whole kind of where we were eating pregame meal, everybody kind of erupted, and it was a great time. So we got a lot of fans. A lot of people made the trip down I-90 through the snowstorm. Hopefully we get a lot more tomorrow for both games, and it'd be great if we could both pull the thing off again.
Last year's game with Kent State kind of turned into a free throw shooting competition by the second half. How much different did this game go? You were able to you didn't score a ton, but you were able to get the pace going a little more.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we want to play, and we just felt like there was no way De La Rosa could play. I mean, he'd been playing 35-plus minutes. We didn't think he could run with us for 35 play, and you could see him. I mean, he untied his shoe so that he could tie it one time to get a little extra break out there, but he was dragging. Yeah, that's how we play best, and it's easier to run off stops. So when we were running off our stops, that's kind of when we got the lead broke open. And then we got really tired. I probably left a couple guys in, CJ and Nick, a tad too long. They went on that little run, but we got a bunch of fresh bodies in. Kinnan gave us about 3 or 4 great minutes there, give Perk a blow, and then got those guys back in and finished the game up. Appreciate it. Thanks.